Bonjour! Today I will be doing my September wrap up. Yeah, I know, it's kind of late, but whatever. So, the first book I read in September is Queen's Song by Victoria Aveyard. This book is a novella. It's a prequel to the Red Queen book and kind of like the Red Queen series. Happens before the Red Queen book starts. Also rated the novella 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed the novella. Queen's Song is about the fallen queen, her diary, and it follows her, like her falling in love with the king, her having her first child, and her demise. It was so good, but it was so sad, especially when I was reading her demise at the end. It made me cry so much. It was just so sad, just the way she just left, and she was such a cool person, and I wish she could have been in the Red Queen series, but she couldn't. I really enjoyed the novella, and it made me even more excited for the release of Glass Sword, which is the second book in the Red Queen trilogy. So yeah, I am so excited for that book. So the second book I read in September was Isle of the Lost by Melissa de la Cruz. So Isle of the Lost is the prequel to the Disney Descendants movie on Disney Channel. It follows the story of the evil villains' kids on the Isle of the Lost. All the evil villains and all their kids got banished to this island. They can't get off of it, magic can't get on, and it follows the story of Carlos, Cruella de Vil's son, Mal, Maleficent's daughter, Evie the Evil Queen's daughter. So all together they embark on this quest to find Maleficent's dragon egg. I rated it 4 out of 5 stars. Just because it was so fun to read, but it didn't completely blow me away. So yeah. And also, if you do read this book, or you just kind of want to go see a Descendants movie, I totally suggest you go see it. It was a really good movie. The next book that I read in September is An Ember in the Ashes. I love this book so much. There's so much going on in this book. I don't even know how to describe this book. This takes place in a setting based on ancient Rome. It's a dual point of view, and it follows the story of Laia, who is a slave, and Elias, don't know how to say his name, who is a soldier. I don't really know much else how to describe this without going into some weird tangent where you don't understand me anymore. So I'll leave the link to the Goodreads description below, so go check it out because this book was great. I finished this in a day and a half. And I was so busy that day and a half. And this book is pretty big. It's like about almost 500 pages, I think. So yeah, that was pretty impressive. This book was just action-packed. Both of the main characters, they both have a love triangle, so it's kind of weird, but also kind of cool. And then there's also some fantasy elements. Not too much in this book. I'm pretty sure that's going to be explored more in the second book. But there definitely were some fantasy elements, and they were so cool. This book was so good. I rated it 5 out of 5 stars. So definitely go check that out. Next book I read in September is Heir of Fire. I'm so happy I finally read this book. I've been wanting to read it for so long. It was just sitting on my bookshelf just taunting me like, read me, please read me. You know you want to read me. But I never had time to read it, and I finally did. It made me so happy. This is the third book in the Throne of Glass series, so I can't really say much about this book, but the first book, Throne of Glass, is about this assassin, Selena Serdothian, and she is in this competition to win back her freedom. She was a slave in the mine. This book was just, wow, this blew me away. Like, I already really loved Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight. They were so good, but then this book just pushed them out of the way and was even better. I didn't think it could get better, but it did. It was crazy. This book was crazy. A lot of people said it was kind of slow, but not really. I mean, in the beginning it was a little slow, but it picked up and it was so good. I loved it. Like, a lot of new characters introduced in this book, and I really like them. And there's 3 main story arcs. There's not just one. It doesn't just follow Selena, it follows other characters too. It was so good. I rated it 5 out of 5 stars. Obviously, if you still have not checked out the Throne of Glass series, what is wrong with you? Have you been living under a rock or something? You will not regret reading it because it's just, oh my god, it's wonderful. You will love it. The last book I read in September was kind of a book for school. For my literature class, my teacher had us choose like a classic to read on our own. And the classic I chose was The Great Gatsby. I really liked this book. The writing style was beautiful. It was so poetic and just wow, it was wonderful. There were so many parts where I was just like, dang, I want to write this quote down and like always have it because it was just beautiful. And the storyline was very engrossing too. I really liked this book. I rated it 4 out of 5 stars. Simply because there were some dull moments in this book. I mean, it is a classic, so that's kind of like a given. But I did really love it. I did go see the Great Gatsby adaptation with Leonardo DiCaprio, the one that came out like a few years ago, and that movie was so good. I definitely suggest you go watch it. It was so faithful to the book, which I thought was great, and I did not expect that considering it was a modern version of the movie, so I thought they were gonna like change like everything, but they changed so little and they were so faithful to the book, which I really loved. Those are all the books I read in September. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll have another video up soon. Au revoir!